scrape it up, and then if you want, you can make it up. Take it up, drop it back down so you shake it up. Scrape it up, and then if you want, you can make it up. Take it up, drop it back down so you shake it up. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm gonna pop it till I drop, cause I ain't dropping Miss Daisy. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. I got a boast, I move like a ghost. Give them that Patrick Swayze's. All of them lost, they knew the cost. I chase them down, I'm the boss. Up in the circle, hitting that purple. If that don't work, maybe a purple. Madison High, that is the spot where I get paid every raise. Sign on my checks with a big X, then get up out of my space. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. All of my shit, always legit, it's just what my mama gave me. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. Call it a win, once I begin, I'ma do it for my baby. Running back, watch out cause I'm on the attack. Passing by, it's easy, I'm not gonna lie. Running back, watch out cause I'm on the attack. Passing by, it's easy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I am the one, hot like the sun, winning the races that pay me. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. Hitting the throttle, popping the bottle, pour it on top of like gravy. It's never a cap, winning the snap, and no one got nothing to say. I'm in every place, taking every race, nobody can get in my way. Tapping the brake, first to the take, I never knew how to die. Give all the rest, all of my best, all of the tanks running dry. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. You think you know how this will go, don't be so goddamn hasty. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'll see you there, blood in the air, victory's gonna be tasty. Crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. Scrape it up, and then if you want, you can make it up. Take it up, drop it back down so you shake it up. Scrape it up, and then if you want, you can make it up. Take it up, drop it back down so you shake it up. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm gonna pop it till I drop, cause I ain't dropping Miss Daisy. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. I got a boast, I move like a ghost. Give them that Patrick Swayze's. All of them lost, they knew the cost. I chase them down, I'm the boss. Up in the circle, hitting that purple. If that don't work, maybe a purple. Madison High, that is the spot where I get paid every race. Sign on my checks with a big X, then get up out of my space. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. All of my shit, always legit, it's just what my mama gave me. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. Call it a win, once I begin, I'ma do it for my baby. Running back, watch out cause I'm on the attack. Passing by, it's easy, I'm not gonna lie. Running back, watch out cause I'm on the attack. Passing by, it's easy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I am the one, hot like the sun, winning the races that pay me. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. Hitting the throttle, popping the bottle, pour it on top of like gravy. It's never a cap, winning the snap, and no one got nothing to say. I'm in every place, taking every race, nobody can get in my way. Tapping the brake, first to the tape, I never knew how to die. Give all the rest, all of my best, all of it takes running dry. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. You think you know how this will go, don't be so goddamn hasty. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'll see you there, blood in the air, victory's gonna be tasty. Crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy.
Need reliable electrical solutions you can count on? The UES group of companies has got you covered. From electrical installations and repairs through to all your compliance and tagging requirements, United Electrical and United Essential Solutions are here to help. Whether it's commercial electrical projects or home renovations, United Electrical can help make it happen. Need to secure your investment with an automatic gate? We can be there from the start of manufacturing right through to the final installation. We even offer excavation services to reduce the need to employ multiple trades. Need to get your electrical equipment tagged to meet compliance? Our United Essential Solutions team are here to help. Appliance tagging, emergency lighting, switchboard inspections, building compliance? Look no further than United Essential. UES Group is 100% Australian owned and operated. We pride ourselves on our customer service and commitment. Visit uestas.com.au or call 1-300-122-598 to learn more. Or find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
The tracks you'd forgotten about are the ones you love.
131 Retro.
These go to 11.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right. Good afternoon and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. It's the Cup Cars here, down south in Darlington. The Lady in Black. It's going to be fun. I'm joined up here in the booth today. I've got Kobe, our amazing producer that we always love and know. You'll see him a lot on Mondays. And then filling in for Joe tonight, James Watson. How's it going?
Oh, it's going all right. I am happy to be here and broadcasting this one. Darlington races are always incredible to watch. Not always necessarily the most action-packed. You're not going to see probably a whole lot of on-track action. This isn't the easiest place to pass or be side-by-side, but, you know, that's what makes this track special, because you know how on edge everyone is when you're running this place and how easy it is for something to go catastrophic. So you know that they're given 110%, and to me, that's what makes this track fun to watch and call races at.
I completely agree with you there. The Lady in Black, she always gives a show. Not exactly because cars are always side by side, but with these Masters drivers, they tend to do that when we don't expect it. But yeah, we've got 6 sets of tires, whatever they start on, plus 5 in the pits tonight. Nice, lovely 74 degrees air temperature wise, track at 94, and 110 laps. Ooh, this is going to be long.
Yeah, that it is. And it's going to be tough trying to get these tires to last too.
No, not
obviously.
110 laps, 220, my bad.
Yeah, it's this is gonna be a heck of a run for these guys. You know, I think when I think of Darlington and how you have to deal with this track as a driver, there is no more poignant bit than DW about 10 years ago when he was given a little seminar to the 2014 rookie class. He held an egg. He said, "This is your brain. threw it on the ground. This is your brain at Darlington. That is pretty spot on. Everyone is going to be spent after 220 laps here.
I agree with you, but let's move on to the keys of the race. First off, run the fence and earn the stripe. Darlington stripe, it's one of the most famous things in NASCAR, I'd say, besides Daytona or anything, or any of the Triple Crowns in the sport. That fence is where you're going to find all the speed. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, they're different corner profiles and shapes. So, but always up there right against the fence. It is always fast. That's where you want to be. And I mean, you want to talk about DW saying the egg is the brain. That's about how much space is going to be left between these cars and that outside wall.
Absolutely. And key number 2 is going to be tire fall off and patience. Like I said, tire fall off is going to be ridiculous. This is the one track that you think of when you think tire wear in NASCAR. So you got to manage these as best as you can because they're going to fall off. And when they fall off hard. So you just got to be patient with it. Try to conserve these next gen cars as long as you can. Otherwise, it's going to make a long night even longer.
Yeah, and then finally, track position and the restarts. That we talk about aero a lot whenever it comes to NASCAR, especially with these next-gen Cup cars and how much it matters. But here at Darlington, with how much you're already going to be running close to the wall, it's definitely going to be matter. So whenever you get to that restart, hit the throttle the best you can, get that strong launch, and then just find clean air wherever you might find it. That might be you running below the white hashes. And at points, there's even grips down there. So it's going to be that restart is key to get. Find somewhere clean for your car to sit and just search for clean air all around. With that as well, we'll go ahead, look at these point standings. Shane Clore on top. He's got a 33-point lead over Thomas Kolmacheski. And Clore, I mean, he's put in a good amount of work. He's typically always up at the front, race in, race out. So is Kolmacheski. Greg Carr and Alex Carr, you typically see them. They might not always start up front, but they'll make their ways up there eventually to where they're always contending. And then other drivers through here, Hammonds, Grutzmacher, we've seen him in recent times. He's been coming up through the field, having good, solid finishes after very, very unfortunate luck throughout most of the season. With that, I think we're on to our picks for the night, James.
Yes, we are. You want to take away first, Wes?
I will. Well, I mentioned him right there. He's leading the points. I went with Shane Clore tonight. I always love watching him drive through the field, watching him dice in and out of traffic. Puts on a show, and I'm thinking he's going to end up in victory lane once again.
Absolutely. For my pick, I'm going with the man sharing the front row, Scott Healy. You know, like you said, track position. If you're starting up front, you're going to have the best chance out of anyone, really, you know, stating the obvious. So I give him a good chance to keep that track position and try to get one position better.
And just quickly, I'm going to go with Tom McChiskey, because he's a good friend of mine. I haven't seen him race in a while, but I think he's going to be strong. But anyway, the boys are greetings. Time to get to it.
Yeah, boys are grid, and we got 55 seconds until they roll off. So let's go through this starting order. Looking at the front row, you already said Scott Healy starting second, but it's Chris Vincent that takes pole there in the number 33. Going back to row 2, you have Thomas Kolmacheski and Dylan Grutzmacher. 2 up there, Kolmacheski, I know, is Kobe's pick. 5th place, we've got Greg Carr and Timothy Latham. In 7th, we've got Jose Medina and Blair Holloman. 8th place is Mark Sanchez, to his outside, John Binder. Then starting 11th is Alex Carr, and 12th is Chad Kibbe. If you'd like to take the rest away, James.
Yes, sir. We have the 23 of Justin Boyles and the 88 of Kyle Gerlach on row 7. Row 8 features the 79 of Chad Gunsman and the 9 of Dakota Jorgensen. Yeah, I have a really great ability of screwing up names, even after I've already been told how to say them. The 9 of Art Nicotera in the 17, and the 49 of JP Jones. Rounding out the top 20, the 72 of Shane Clore, your points leader, with the 40 of Colton Gardner. The 87 of Michael Seymour and the 26 of Alexander Hammonds. And rounding out the field is the 92 of Kyle Westwood.
Well, I mean, Lady in Black, it's throwback week, as you can see with some of these cars. Pace Truck takes its dip off hard left into pit road. Cars are going to be looking for that restart zone. They're in it. Green flag is out here, and already cars getting sideways.
Wow, I don't even know where that started. You saw Vincent kind of spin the tires and get loose, but I think there was like 2 or 3 other separate incidents right there off of the jump. That's one way to start a Darlington race.
That was, I'm not exactly sure what I saw either, and I was looking right at it with you. We had cars sideways as they hit the gas. Now, we say you want to hit the gas to get that track position, but it's not easy at Darlington. There's so little grip in that restart zone. In fact, there's so little grip all the way around the track that a lot of these cars just wiggled up and underneath them and ended up sideways into the wall into another car.
Yeah, you saw that to full effect right there. It's a wonder how none of these cars ended up facing the wrong way. You thought for sure that was going to be a massive track blocker there, but thankfully everyone seems to have gotten away as scot-free as you could hope on that.
Scot-free the best you can. I'm sorry, I'm having audio issues a little bit.
Oh, good. You see, Healy was able to take the lead off of that with all that chaos going on. Grutzmacher got up to P2. Oh, big contact there. It's like the 88 and the 72 might have got together a little bit through 3 and 4.
Yeah, check up from Gerlach, and I don't think Clore was ready.
No, it looked awfully similar a bit to Busher and Reddick earlier this afternoon.
But hopefully, boys kind of settle down. I know Master Series, it's called the Masters because they're the best in Spartan, but they're always rowdy, and there's some easy errors that these guys just happen to make. But Healy, he's kind of flown away at this point. 8.5 tenths, my bad, over Grutzmacher in second.
Yeah, you see Vincent trying to recover a little bit after that little faux pas on the start. There he goes, sends it to the inside of Grutzmacher. Dylan rolling that top, very nice, able to hold Vincent off for the moment. But here comes Chris back in. Oh, they're going to be side by side to turn 1. Grutzmacher trying to hold, and he will not.
I want to say 1 and 2 are my favorite turns here.
Oh man, there is nothing more satisfying than nailing turns 1 and 2 here at Darlington, because there's no other set of corners that handle anywhere near Darlington. That's where you know you're running at the Lady in Black, is when you're taking 1 and 2. You know, that nice little diamond, clip the apron in 1, slide up to the wall, then cut back off. You feel it go over the bump. You put a little bit of yaw in it, trying to make sure that you don't smack the wall with the rear of that car. And when you nail it, you're like, yeah. And you know, you always feel connected to the legends of the past, you know, with how different NASCAR is nowadays and how different the cars are, all the changes, the evolution. You know, you really don't get to feel that often, but you always feel connected to the past of the sport when you're running this place. That's why Throwback Weekend is always a cool thing that they used to do, and now we're not doing the throwback anymore in real life. But even still, just being here is a throwback in and of itself.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to Darlington last fall, and let me tell you, it was just a fun experience to be. I was right there front row at the restart zone, And you could just feel it like old memories, the white and red all the way around the track instead of the bright colors of like a yellow or a blue you might see. And it just has that old-timey feel to it that I've actually come to love. It's one of my favorite tracks to race. And we're just seeing it here, these throwback schemes that some of these guys are running right now. We're looking at the 29 of Sanchez. That's a very unknown Harvick paint scheme that was only ran once. And that's just something you love to see, old school designs on this old school track.
Absolutely. And yeah, let me tell you, as a Chase Briscoe fan, I'm heavily jealous of you for attending last year's Southern 500. Meanwhile, we're on board with the 29 and the 23. That camel throwback on the 23, that is another beauty of a paint right there.
It is just that purple hood, and then you've got the yellow for the rest of the body. It's just an amazing color combination. And right there, you can kind of see it from that camera we were on board with when we were running with the 29 there, how close it was Boyles got to the wall. That's just what you got to do.
On board with the 49, JP Jones here. That's a deep throwback. That looks like Ned Jarrett's old car, if I remember correctly. Love that paint.
It was, and it's so good that it's not the only one. He's not the only one running it. The 72 of Clore is at the same time. Or no, it's not Ned Jarrett. It's a David Pearson.
Right, because Ned was
all cars in the wall off of 2.
Yeah, you're gonna see that a lot more, especially as this run goes on, as these runs go on. You know, it's so easy to get up there into turn 2. You know, you always feel so out of control on the exit of turn 2. You know, you always feel like you're holding on for dear life. You're never entirely sure how the car is gonna behave, and every time you think you have the corner nailed, that's when she bites you. Well, you see Grutzmacher able to hold Kulmacheski off so far, holding a commanding P3. It's in the second
this is
behind.
what we've seen recent. Sorry,
go on,
ahead.
Wes.
So this is what we've kind of seen recently from him as well.
Yeah, it's good to see him continue the momentum here. You know, has himself a nice gap where he's not really suffering from the dirty air as bad up from Vincent right there in P2, and has a good amount of breathing room back to Kulmacheski. So, and that's one of the things you want the most here at Darlington, is to just be able to run your own race and focus on the track. You know, you're focusing on trying to make sure that you don't overstep your boundaries here at this place and stuff the car into the wall. So much focus on that. The last thing you want to be doing is also trying to race another car while trying to keep yourself alive.
Yeah, and at Darlington, I honestly don't care much about the other cars unless they're right there beside me. I mainly try to focus on the track just because of how difficult it is. And right there, we still see cars, like talking about difficulty, getting into the wall off of 2, just light scrapes or light bumps. Oh, and hold on there, Alex. Gonna have to find his way around Timothy Latham. Dives it to the inside, gonna send it into 1 and 2. Still side by side through the corner. Latham's got it that time, though.
Yeah, good move right there. See, here comes the 45 trying to follow suit. Not able to get position on the inside. see the 32 and the 48 doing a bit of battling right here as well, a little further ahead of this group.
Yeah, and it's not really, you see these giant packs of cars all racing each other. It's kind of these little cluster fights, if you would. You've got the top four, or not really, can't even really.
Whoa, big sideways! I think it was...
That was Alex.
Yeah, it was Alex. Got a big moment in the center of 3 and 4. Had to hold on to it. Heck of a save. Oh, and he got the ball hard right there. Things have gone from bad to worse for the 21 in the span of not even a lap there.
Yeah, there's already so little amount of grip at Darlington to where if you overheat these tires and get them upset, you're just going to keep on going for a wild ride, and it's going to take a long time to cool them back down. And you don't want to pit right now either. I mean, you can go around 39 laps here, so you're about 20 or so away from when you might want to pit to make it equal across all tires. But you can go further just based on a tank of fuel, I believe. And then there's also the fact that, hey, you might want to save one of those sets for later on.
Yeah, because tires are such an obscene advantage. You saw it play out in the real life race earlier today. The thing about Darlington is, with how bad the tire wear is, even just a couple lap difference, it's huge. You're practically unstoppable compared to a lot of those cars with a couple lap older tires. So if you can set yourself up nice with that extra set, should we get a late restart and some chaos, you might have just filled out a golden ticket for yourself on that one.
Yeah, and it's those late restarts where typically we see the most action. These guys, they're kind of evenly spread out. There's a couple, like I said, as I described it, as clusters of cars that are running right on top of each other with a race. But these guys pretty fanned out good enough to where they can kind of just get into a rhythm, tick these laps down, come down for the green flag stop once it needs to happen.
See, the 45 and the 18 continue to battle. They've been pretty much nose to tail for going on, what, 10 laps now at this point?
Just about, and I don't think Kibbe, I mean, he might have the speed here, though he's a little just caught up behind. He's looking at it right now, they're about even on lap times. So he might try to push the issue, but the 21 of Alex Carr, I think he's going to make up the mind for Kibbe real soon here, because after those couple of instances, he's right back to the rear of the 45 and 18.
Yeah, and you see it with that bad lap from the 21. It doesn't seem to be affecting him that much. There he goes to the outside of the 45.
He's going to have a good amount of draft from Latham here. He's around Kibbe and boxed in.
Ooh. Oh, and he's going to get the wall again.
And now guess what? Here comes the 29 of Sanchez to take advantage.
Oh, and he got himself a little bit of the wall, too. Oh, and a big moment for your points leader, you see. 72 with a big moment off of turn 2.
He's fine. He just took the dog for a little bit of a walk. And there's also that, like when you were talking about nailing 1 and 2, that bump on 2, it causes so many issues, which I'm pretty confident in saying is what Clore might have hit there. And you see the same thing with Gerlach and Bender back there. Both of them a little squirrely on the exit of 2 as well.
Now we see, can the 21 get himself back by the 18 here? They're starting to run down the 48 of Medina on top of this. Oh, you see, Carr's got the lane. Oh, but the 18 shuts the door on him.
And again, right there to capitalize, the 29 of Sanchez. He's going to go to the inside of Alex Carr here into 1 and 2. Dipped his left sides below the white hash. Is not going to do it this time around. And Latham in the wall off of 2 as well. And I'm looking at this right now. You've kind of got this battle where it's Alex Carr trying to get around Latham, and then you've got Sanchez. He's just kind of picking up any scraps that might be out of place. There's a whole train behind these cars.
Yeah, and it's not an unfamiliar sight here at Darlington. You know, like I said, this place is notoriously difficult to pass, and you're seeing it. You know, oftentimes it feels like if you don't get a little bit of a break cut by the car on the outside, as you see Carr finally making that pass on the 18. But unless you have that outside position, it's not easy to really complete these passes.
No, it's not. And 3 and 4 is probably the best place to make those passes as well. You just get a good run off of 2. And 3 and 4, there's really 3 lanes. We talked about ripping the wall and the fence during the pre-race and such, but there's kind of 3 different lines you can take. You've got right there what Alex did, just hold it up against the wall. Latham, you've kind of seen him doing a hybrid of ripping the wall and then also a little bit of a diamond where he enters low, runs high, then cuts it back down. And then there's kind of a secret third lane of sorts where those white hashes you see all the way around, that's not the apron, that's actually usable track. And there might be just a little bit of grip down there, and if you set your car right, you can make a pass.
Yeah, and you saw them use that a lot earlier today. I haven't really seen it be able to be used in the same fashion here on the sim like you do in real life, but it's still effective, and you see a lot of guys try it, especially if they're trying to set up, you know, that slide job move, trying to get that position on the car that they're trying to go around. You know, that little bit of extra space is usually the difference in being able to pull that move off, as opposed to getting stuck on the inside and seeing them potentially freight train. Now you see Sanchez was finally able to get the pass done. Saw the 18 kind of cut him a little bit of a break, which you see a lot here, you know, making the business decision. It's so difficult to go side by side into 1 and 2, Wes.
Yeah, 3 and 4, it's a lot easier. 1 and 2, it's just so high speed and takes a lot of commitment. And as I talked about, there being kind of 3 different lanes or styles to drive 3 and 4, there's really only 1 lane through 1 and 2, and the cars just naturally gravitate towards it. So if you're side by side, you're going to lose a lot of time through the turn.
Absolutely. As you see, Sanchez is also caught up to the 48, trying to see if he can get a run on Medina, and he's going to get it.
He's going to send it around the outside. He backs out of it. And like I said right there, kind of 1 lane, you see the 45, he enters low, about half his car below the hashes, and then washes up. That's just kind of natural for it to happen. Sanchez knew he was going to do it because he did it on Latham, so he backed out.
You see, he sends it to the inside of Medina. He's going to get the pass done easy. And Hammonds follows him through, so that's a couple spots lost for Medina here in this last lap. Oh, contact between the 45 and the 18. Latham getting into the wall. That saved him.
I think I saw a little bit of Shane Clore involved in that as well, and it's just all right here. Turn 3 and 4, some of the biggest opportunities to pass. Holy low. Never mind, that was 1 and 2. Kibby, I mean, good to see all the cars take it straight, but that was an audacious move by the 45.
Yeah, you know how I said it's not easy to go side by side in 1 and 2. Yeah, that's why. It's you tend to see that happen more often than not, even when you're absolutely trying not to do that, like the 45 wasn't, but that happens, and you saw him kind of jump on the brakes after he made contact with Latham to try to help him gather it back up, and Clore was right there, and you saw that contact that they had between each other, and does it seem like it's messed up the 72 all that much? You hope
no.
At any rate.
Nah, it doesn't seem like it's affected him too much. There might be a little bit damage on the right side from the 18 around that right front where he first made contact or kind of got slammed, or kind of slammed into the wall. My bad. But he seemed, like I said, car's keeping it straight. There's no caution out yet. 40 laps into this run. Ooh, hold on to it there, Latham.
Yeah, and you saw Clore make a little bit of contact with the wall. Oh, and he makes contact with the wall again there. Entry of 3. But again, it really hasn't affected him. That's the best thing about these next-gen cars, is that they can take a bit of a beating. If this was the Gen 6 or even the truck, that you'd be suffering with the damage that you would have gotten from some of these incidents. But these next-gen cars are robust. As you see Shane making the big move to the inside of 3, it looked like the 18 might have cut him a break.
I don't know. Latham's looking to come back to the inside, not going to get it. 72 better on exit, but the 18 sucked up right behind him. Into 1, no dice.
Yeah, good move from the points leader, making another spot up. Meanwhile, we're starting to see a pretty big battle here for the last spot in the top 10. Jose Medina has got a lot of company right behind him.
And speaking of Medina, into the wall, checks up Boyles as well.
Yeah, great job of Justin to be able to get off of it enough to not run over Jose after he got into the wall. Justin has a big running that higher lane. Is he going to be able to get to the inside of Jose here? Looks like he will.
Sends it through, and here comes Bender as well. Now Clore, he's got to run on Kibby. Oh, Kibby gives him a little bit of a squeeze.
Yeah, they're really starting to mix it up here. This is some great racing.
It's not constant passing like you'll see at a super speedway or a typical intermediate. As whoa, Latham back into the wall.
Yeah.
Cars bouncing all over the place. Not just him, but everyone.
Yeah, and you saw he almost made a second contact right there. Got real tight, exited 2, just barely kept it out of the wall. But it seems like that handling might really be starting to go away on that 18 car.
It really is, and it's nearly 50 laps on this run, as Ginningsman's going to be the first to pull it down into pit road.
So, does this... Oh, as you see, 69 almost make a little bit of contact with the wall. So here goes Alexander Hammonds by. See,
Medina,
has made...
I was about to say Medina, he keeps dropping Clore and Kibby around him now.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd say the 48 may be one of the next few to pit here.
Be right on board with you. He's losing a lot of time. I'm not sure if he's overheated those tires, used them up or not. And it's really hard to tell as well with these open setups that everybody runs here in Spartan. Just because if it was a stock setup, baseline fixed, you'd be able to tell a little bit easier about what the cars are doing at certain points of a race. But open setups, they're able to just make it how they want to fit their driving style, and really hard to tell if it's really the tires are dead or he's getting loose, if he's getting tight.
Meanwhile, things are getting tight up here at the front. Great car is under a half a second out of this race lead.
And Kari's one of those that like to take it slow. He considers himself an old school driver. He'll sit there, watch everybody setting these hot laps, fast lap after fast lap after fast lap. He'll sit back and wait. And then we saw it. He kind of climbed slowly up through the field, and now he's right here on the tail of Scott Healy.
And you know, Wes, if there's any track where that type of driving style fits, it's here. And, oh, we called it. The next car on pit road is the 48 Jose Medina. See, pretty good pin entry for him. No penalties or what have you, and that's a difficult thing here. This to me, it's not. This is the toughest pit entry in NASCAR, rivaled only by Dover. You know, a lot of people talk about Dover as being the hardest. This one, to me, has always been worse because it's really hard to figure out when the right time to actually pull off the track and start braking for it. You know, you have all that apron, so it's kind of hard to get a good reference. Plus, the commitment cone is way out there, too. So you have to make sure that you're inside of that. Otherwise, you're going to get slapped with a big old penalty. And it's so easy to think you have the entry nailed only to forget about that cone and go right by it. And you also have to make sure that you don't lose the rear under braking for pit road, since there's very little grip on this apron. And it's not a very big pit road speed limit. So speeding is also pretty easy to do here. But other than that, it's just a cakewalk. No issues whatsoever.
I mean, I still wouldn't say it's a cakewalk, but you're right. I'd say this is, I'd say it is the hardest. People talk about Dover being hard. I completely understand that one. Another couple I would even say would be Bristol. If you're trying to be as fast onto it as you can, it can be really tough. Martinsville, the paperclip, it's very like a small area where you have to shoot left as well. There's a couple of hard ones, but I'd say Darlington is the trickiest. Like you said, you've got all that room right there between where cars are normally running and the actual pit entry, and it's just hard to kind of gauge, brake and turn in.
Absolutely, and you see it a lot in real life incidents on pit road. You know, not being sure if the car ahead is going to be making their way onto pit road. And that's what was stuck out to me about Jose's pit entry, is that he got to the wall pretty early. Like, he was already to the inside wall as he was entering turn 3. You know, it's not necessarily the fastest way to get on pit road here doing that, but to me, it's the safest. Exactly, because you at least know where your car's gonna be, and you can factor in the commitment cone a lot easier than just pulling it off of the racing line in turn 3 and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and speaking of, we see more cars on pit road. Greg Carr was in. We saw the 18 of Timothy Latham. He pulled in as well. So pit stops are starting around lap 57, 55. And roughly that's going to make it about a 3-stop race. Maybe 4 stops for those that had to stop early.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably going to be potentially a 4-stop for those that pitted real early, like Medina. But right here, think you have a fighting chance at cutting out that extra pit stop. See, Healy continues to stay on the racetrack. It's like he's trying to maybe set himself up for a bit of an overcut here on everyone who's bringing it down right now.
I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be smart. He's going to have better tires later on in the run, but he's got to look out when he comes off of pit road. I'm not going to be surprised if we see Greg Carr leading.
Oh, unless Greg had a catastrophic pit, Greg is absolutely going to have the race lead. But what I've always seen on the sim, especially here, is the overcut tends to be really overpowered. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of time early on, but you're going to be so much faster over the course of the run with those fresher tires, and the fact that those around you are going to have their tires go off sooner because of that earlier pit stop. That it's just such an advantage, provided you don't stay out too long. Like, I've always gone for like 10 laps at a normal track, but a high tire wear track like here, I think you can really only go 5 laps more before that gap that you now have to deal with is too great to overcome.
I'd be completely agreeing with you. And back to Greg Carr, I don't see any issues with his stop. I mean, a little bit long, 15.35 seconds, a total of 54.2 seconds on pit road. So about as standard as it can be. And Healy, he's gone on an extra 6 laps or so.
Yeah, so if I was him, I'd be bringing that thing in ASAP at this point. And he continues to stay out.
I don't think he's got a lot of choices whenever he's got cars going to his inside into 3.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right about that. And you know, something to point out, there's a lot of cars on the track that seem to have the same school of thought here as the race leader. You see, everyone in the top 10 has not pitted yet.
Yeah, and it could be they're running it out, hoping there's a little bit of silliness going on with the green flag stops. We've seen it before. Middle of green flag stops, a caution flew out, and we put about half the field under a lap down. They all took the wave around, of course, but then it kind of created this weird off cycle about which strategy was going to be better, because they all had to kind of differ from what they had going in. So it's going to be interesting to see how long are they going to run. Are they going to try to do only 2 stops?
Yeah, and that's going to be actually a really interesting question to sit on, because, you know, obviously conventional wisdom, you would always try to cut out a pit stop. You know, that makes complete sense, because pit stops obviously take a long time and so on and so forth. But at a track like Darlington, where the tire wear is so high and fall off is so high, that making an extra stop could actually work out to your advantage. You know, it's hard to say. Obviously, we're still very early in this race, but that to me is something I've always enjoyed about this track, is it opens up those added strategy calls that would absolutely not work at most any other track.
Yeah, they're wanting to do an equal split amount of laps between 2 different stops, 3 runs. We're looking at 73, 74 laps each. And we already talked about those that came in. They're looking at possibly 3 stops around 55, 57, 58, around that range. So that's about 15 or so laps difference that they're going to be running. And it honestly might be close. I'm not sure which strategy would win in that case.
Oh, we got Cart slow on the apron. A big save for Justin Boyles. I have no idea how he held on to that 23 car. That was nearly caution number 1 of the night. See, great car on the fresher tires. Oh, gets into the 23. Helped straighten him out. And look at the driving from Boyles here. Wow. Great work from the 23. But something I actually wanted to point out right before that happened. Take a look at the left front of your race leader. There's some damage on it. You can see there's some scuff marks, and it's bent up a bit on that 64. I don't know where it came from, but that's very problematic for our leader. As you see, second and third have absolutely caught up to him now.
It could have been during a checkup. Who knows? I mean, he took the lead and he kind of ran away with it. So I'm just as curious where he got that. You know what? I think it might have been during that original start where Vincent kind of got a little bit squirrely and got into him.
That is a good point.
And Healy, I'm not sure if that was the car was just loose or if he was signaling. I think he's coming into pit.
He sure is. Oh, he blew the commitment cone. No. Oh,
that
my
is disaster.
Well, what were we saying there, Wes?
He was trying to low it down, locked it up. Now it's a whole nother lap around for him.
Yeah, the whole time, you know, we were questioning, as you see Grutzmacher get the wall, we were questioning if he was actually making his way down to pit road, because he waited so long to really start getting off the track and slow down. I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna make it, and yeah, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't right here, Dylan. He's kind of in a little bit of a pickle. He's got a whole bunch of guys on fresher tires coming around him. And this is kind of what we saw a little bit with Healy as well, where when you're on old tires, you've got everybody with fresh tires just going underneath you, and it's hard to get down. Grutzmacher spinning off a 4. He might have been trying to get to pit road.
Oh, I think he towed. He did. He towed after that spin. Oh, my goodness. That is abject disaster for Grutzmacher. As Vincent's making his way down.
He's slow. That is interesting.
Yeah. Oh. So he's talking over the radio. He was out of fuel.
Oh,
so that's
no.
Why, yeah, that's why he had to do that, because it was either make it now or run out of gas. Oh. Yeah,
So that brings into question, how much further can some of these guys go?
Yeah, I think... Has Hammonds already made his pit?
He has not. Hammonds and Nicotera are the only two that have not pitted yet.
Wow, yeah, that's some incredible fuel mileage for those two. As you see Hammonds now making his way onto pit road. You imagine Nicotera's probably gonna follow him here. See Art in that beautiful DW throwback.
It is the
Love that car.
I had the pleasure of touching it at Las Vegas just last week. And he's going to stay out.
Once again, I'm very jealous of you. Oh, contact 23 and 45. Oh,
Kibby around. I think, yep, that's the 40 Colton Gardner collected.
And there's the caution. Oh, my goodness.
Colton.
Wow. See, Kibby and Boyle side by side. Oh, see Kibby got the wall, bounced down into Boyles a little bit. And then Kibby had it saved, and then in classic next-gen fashion, he didn't have it saved. And right there gets the... Who was that he got into? The
Colton Gardner.
40, yeah. And Colton almost had it until he didn't. And that's what brought out the caution. So, wow, this has worked out perfectly for Art Nicotera. Because now, pretty much everybody's going to be bringing it onto pit road. Because even those that just pitted, you know, those few laps, they're going to matter a lot.
I'm not exactly sure about that. Some of those that just pitted, they might elect to stay out.
So
I think Art missed the initial open for pit lane with an iRacing glitch. I'm not exactly sure what's happening.
Yeah, because everyone else is on pit road right now, and Art's just now gone onto pit road. So I don't know what's going on. And plus, there's still probably going to be some more confusion on the lineup and who's going to be where, because whenever there's green flag pit stops and whatnot going on when the caution comes out, iRacing tends to it tends to collapse in on itself. I've seen many weird things happen when a caution comes out in the middle of a green flag pit stop. So yeah, Art's
gonna have that cleared.
Yep. Yeah, and so that mess. And we're getting a delayed green here as well because of all the confusion, because that might have messed up the wave around cars a little bit. So now we're having to discuss that to figure out who's gonna go where. I don't envy race control right now, Wes.
I'm perfectly fine sitting right where I am.
Yep. So I believe Art's still gonna be the race leader. Maybe?
I think so.
See more cars on their wave around, perhaps?
Okay, I just spoke with one of the officials. Luckily, I live with one of them. The other one's about 50 feet away. So Art was out of gas and was rolling down pit road ahead of the pace car. So nobody got the proper wave around.
Okay.
So now race control is trying to get everybody on the correct lap in the correct position.
Yeah, so it looks like everything is settled with the exception of Art being essentially a full lap ahead of everyone.
A whole bunch of confusion going on right now. Race control is trying to work through it. We are sorry for this. This is a new experience.
Yep.
But you know what it does give us a good time to do right now, James? Can go through and look at some of these throwback schemes.
Yes.
It's Darlington. It's throwback week for Spartan Sim Racing League. I mean, right here we see Scott Healy. I've seen him race a couple times. I think that's just his normal scheme. The first real throwback that I see is the 29 of Mark Sanchez. And like I said, it's a one-off Harvick scheme that ran. I think he posted a little comment on it when he showed it in the Paint Schemes channel. Yeah, just only ran once, the 2003 All-Star race for Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, then you see Jose Medina in the old Wood Brothers Sitgo number 21. Not sure if that's the Morgan Shepherd one or the Kyle Petty one.
I'm not sure either with you. Cole Macheski, I know that's a throwback, but I'm pretty sure it is. That's not what he typically runs, but I can't tell you what it's for, who it's to.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure myself either.
Going through the rest, Jose Medina, we already clipped on. Then side by side right there behind him, you see Vincent. That's one of my favorite schemes ever. I'm a little bit biased just because it's a Jimmy Johnson throwback. Lowe's, he did a great job with the team logo for Team Watson Racing and making it look like the Lowe's logo. And just all around nice, beautiful scheme, very clean. His outside, Latham right there, it's a kind of a throwback to Kyle Busch and what some might consider his best era when he was at Joe Gibbs Racing with all the Skittles cars. Then, bumper cars further back through the field as I was about to get to him as well.
Yeah, we are finally back green now. Oh no! He really hard it on the wall! Oh, this is a big Majeski, great car involved! Wow, so you see a little bit more chaos on this restart. And then Healy
started up there with Healy spinning.
Yeah, did he? So it looked like he
might have had some contact with Art up in the front.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me as well. You see, Art just slides up, gets into him.
Yeah, and Healy, he was sending it around the outside the best he could, and there's just really no room to do that, I'd say. It's just so hard for that to happen. It's so tight on corner entry through 1 and 2.
Yep, that is absolutely correct, and race control has called that a racing deal. So, but
and
yeah,
I completely agree with them.
See Grutzmacher getting the lucky dog. He's going to be back on the lead lap. That is a huge break for Dylan. You thought his night might be done with having to tow, but now he is right back in it.
I can tell you, I watch Dylan streams every single Sunday night. He streams on Twitch. We saw it on his car when we were riding along. I think Cole Macheski, when he was trying to get past him, saw the Twitch logo there, and he was not happy. He was upset. He about took his gloves off because of how ticked he was.
Yeah, that's something we all can relate to. Yeah, now it's going to be interesting to see how that damage affects. There was a lot of cars involved in that. Saw Healy, massive front end damage for great car. That Mustang was completely center punched. You saw Kolmacheski up in the wall, but I don't know if I see a whole lot of damage on that 69 car. So he looks like he stayed out. Blair Holman got contact from the 64 while he was still going around. He seems no worse for the wear either, so but potentially some good breaks for those involved in that wreck.
Yeah, good amount of it.
Great car looks to be already back out on the track, getting whatever repairs he could under yellow. Still on the lead lap. Oh, Scott Healy is unfortunately just retired from this race, so he joins Kyle Westwood as those done for the night, it would appear.
And we're back for another restart. Let's get it a little, keep it a little bit more sane here, boys. Pace truck is off into the restart zone. Barney, give us the green.
I was gonna say that looked a lot better, but something happened with the 32. Didn't carry the speed all that well. That allows Nicotera to clear him, and Sanchez is also gonna get by as well. Whoa, close between Carr and Kolmacheski there off of 2. See, not a good set of corners for Nicotera. He's just lost a couple spots all of a sudden. And he is still losing spots. Oh, this is going to be close with him and Carr. Oh, that got tight. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that 17 car. I'm trying to look at it. I don't know if I see any damage. I mean, surely he took tires, right, when he brought it down.
I would assume so. I'm right there with you. I don't see, as he gets into the wall off of 2. Trying to look, I don't see too much damage on his car. Maybe something he did adjustment wise in the pit stop, but the car looks clean all around.
Yeah, and you assume that if for some reason he didn't take tires when that first caution came out for whatever reason, that he might have come down after the caution that came out right after that. So yeah, really unsure of what's going on with that 17 car right now, but your race leader is Alexander Hammonds in that 26 car. He's got himself about second over Sanchez in that Harvick throwback.
Yeah, and Sanchez, he can't rest too easy. He's got Kolmacheski right behind him. Just look at that. Cars off of 2. They run right up to the wall, then they escape a little bit of unease from the bump, just hoping you don't shoot all the way down the track.
Absolutely. Yeah, these cars don't take too kindly to them bumps.
I don't think any car does.
Yeah, but these are such a special type of temperamental, you know, with how rigid these things are. I've always kind of likened them to a heavier Indy car with fenders, you know. That's why I've actually, in being more of a open wheel guy myself on the service, I've always kind of gravitated more to these cars just because of that. The way they behave is a little more what I'm accustomed to. But that's also what makes these cars so difficult, because you're never quite sure what they're gonna do. They absolutely have a mind of their own, and sometimes when it goes, you just have no warning whatsoever.
Right here, riding along with Kibby in that 45 Jordan car. Brought out the first caution and stayed on the lead lap, and you can see that left front, it's all types of scratched up and dinged.
Yeah, so far so good though, at least being able to hold some good speed despite that left front damage. You know, he's hoping for another caution or two here to try to see if he can get more of that fixed.
And we talked about what might be going on with the 17, a bad pit stop adjustment. Someone who might have made a good one, though, 48 of Medina, he's soaring just a little bit. We see right there, Bender, he tried to go underneath those white hashes through 3 and 4. It's going to be right up against the quarter panel, who's going to back out into 1. Medina cuts him a break.
Yeah, good move from the 13. Meanwhile, Kyle Gerlich has also, it seems to have retired from tonight's race. Meanwhile, Kolmacheski has gotten by Sanchez for P2.
Yeah, and I think Sanchez just knew Kolmacheski was a little bit faster and just said, hey, I know you're better than me. Go on by. Yep. I'll give you it.
Yeah, he even straight up said on the radio, go ahead and take it here in the next corner. Still good run for the 29, holding a commanding P3 here. See, one person getting closer to the front that we haven't really talked about a whole lot is the 9, Dakota Jorgensen.
Whoa! You just spoke about him. Look how loose he was off exit.
Man, you can't take me anywhere, I swear. I'm sorry, Dakota. I'll start saying bad things about you. Maybe that'll even it out. Whoa, big moment for the 72 Clore. No, hold on to it there. Well on the apron trying to save that. It was a big moment. Still holding on to P12 it looks like, but man, you get the feeling that the points leader might really want this race to end here soon.
Oh no, there's still a lot of race left here. We're not even halfway yet. So who knows what exactly could happen.
You see Hammonds might have his hands full with his TWRS teammate at Kolmacheski. Thomas has got it down to under half a second here.
And I think Thomas just has a better car and a little bit better of a feeling for the track. I mean, he's watching him through 1 and 2 there. He's able to diamond it just perfectly. And then through 3 and 4, he's got just a little bit tighter and gets an amazing exit.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Holman made a little bit of a business decision, letting the 33 by. Jorgensen also, it looks like, might have did the same to the 18 Latham.
And there's so much in the race. I think they just know, hey, they're faster for now. If it was, I'd say 20 to go, I don't think they're just going to say, hey, going by. It's no, I'm putting my car in front of you.
And that's the thing about Darlington. You know, I mentioned that a little bit ago. Another great bit from DW about this place is, you know, focus on racing the racetrack first. That's your number one priority because of how easily Darlington can bite you. So you see a lot of give and take early on in the run because there's just no point in being side by side and racing hard, knowing how much risk there is of something going bad and something going bad quickly. So oftentimes if you get alongside someone early on in the run, they're probably gonna let you by. But when you get to the end of the runs, the end of the race, there's absolutely no reason to. Then you're going to risk it and go side by side. And that's why we tend to see cautions happen more towards the end because of no one being able to do that give and take. It becomes all take.
It really does. And racing the track, any track is probably the best call. Tracks that you know is very, very demanding on tires and driver skill, you gotta be more watchful on them. And that's why I loved Greg Carr. His driving style fits perfectly. We talked about how he's kind of slow and builds up and just runs his own race and lets everybody wear themselves out. That is the best way to race Darlington. It's the best way, I'd say, to even race something like a Dover or a New Hampshire, even, where it's going to be that everybody just push. You've got hot lappers that will push full out, and once their tires die, they die, and you see them fall back. But then you've got those that sit there, they sit back at the start, save, and then they're slowly creeping up.
Yeah, hot lapping is the way to go with this car at quite a lot of tracks, but like you said, this is not one of those tracks. You still need that old school conserve, keep your nose in, and then make your moves towards the end if you want to be successful. And you know, just as quickly as Kolmacheski caught Hammonds, he hasn't been able to do anything with him at all. Still right there behind, but it seemed like he's able to overcome the dirty air off of his teammate. Meanwhile, Clord looking to the inside of the 79 here. It's like he's going to get outside position going into one. And another business decision. Off goes Clor into P10. Oh, a little bit of contact. Whoa, big moment for Hammonds there. Wiggling. You saw it, got the little bit of wall contact and then got a little loose on top of that after. Bit scary for your race leader.
Yeah, you saw him. He got wiggly and loose going into the corner and kind of slid it all the way throughout. Able to keep the car straight. He's still in front of Kolmacheski, but huge moment.
Yeah, you maybe get the feeling that Kolmacheski might just be trying to maybe just chill out here, let some laps tick off, you know, take his opportunity to try to stretch and conserve his equipment here.
And that might be the best to do. We restarted, trying to look at this now, about lap 80 or so.
Good battle here between Latham and Clor. Oh, big hit to the wall.
And he kind of jumped down to where Clor couldn't go anywhere but into the back of him. So Clor also a little bit of damage from the wall and maybe also the 18. And now they're tight through 3 and 4.
And now he's finally going to get that done. Man, I tell you, we've seen some heavy impacts into these walls.
I think we might have a couple drivers with, I wouldn't call it a stripe, but a whole side.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to get a traditional stripe in these cars just because of how flared out the fenders are. But yeah, you're pretty right. A lot of these cars definitely have a straight up stripe. Whoa, is Medina gone to the wall a little bit, and here comes Clore again. I think Shane is really wanting cars not to hit the wall in front of him anymore.
I don't think he does, but he's also really smart. He knows he's faster. He'll sit behind and wait for them to make a mistake, and then he just capitalizes on it.
Now that puts him up into P8. Now he's going to try to see if he can run down Carr, who's not too far ahead of him right now. About a second or so. And you see Latham trying to make his move on Medina. They run in the middle that time. I don't know if that's going to work out well. Here comes Latham with the run from the top side.
Switches it to the bottom through 1 and 2.
Oh,
Medina back into the wall.
And there goes Latham.
He tried to keep it in there and give Latham room, but just ran out.
Yeah, no business decisions on that one. While Pullman has lit Binder by, so move John Binder into the top 5.
Yeah, and Blair really, I think he's making decisions right now. He knows there are guys faster than him, and he's not going to risk his race to try and keep position. You're faster, hey, come on through.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not a bad mindset to have here.
But out front, it's still Hammond's leading Kolmacheski.
Yeah, they have not gotten away from each other whatsoever. See that third car in line, that's Justin Boyles. He's 1 lap down right now in that Jimmy Spencer throwback.
Now, right here, 10th place, you got Medina. He's got Genningsman and Grutzmacher right behind him.
Yeah, been a quiet night for Genningsman so far.
And that's kind of how he plays it.
Yeah, kind of another one of that Greg Carr type of driving right now. He's looking to the inside or outside of Jose, trying to do what Latham did a few laps ago.
I don't know where I'd make a move on that 48. He's in the wall and he'll bounce down off of it. So maybe down a straightaway if you can get it.
Yeah, possibly. And here's Grutzmacher right behind them. Dylan on the comeback train.
He's going to poke his nose, gets cut off as Genningsman and Medina both kind of diamond the corner with that straight exit. So he's going to lose out down this front stretch. Going to have to make it all back in 1 and 2.
Oh, and here he comes. Oh, Jose all the way to again.
Genningsman all the way on the bottom. He came up. Medina was about to come down at the same time. Thought better. He's going to lose 2 positions in the turn. Grutzmacher following the 79 through.
Yeah, that right side of the 48 has seen some things tonight.
A lot of people's right side of the car has seen some things tonight.
And maybe even the fronts too.
And I'm pretty sure most of the stuff they seen was either white or red.
As we are now finally at the halfway point. Got by about 9 laps ago. But man, I tell you, even 90 plus laps here still feels like an eternity.
It does, it really does. And
whoa! Meanwhile, a little bit of contact. Grootsmacher ran the 79. Looked awful close. Not sure if there was in fact contact, but boy howdy, they couldn't have gotten any closer without contact. That's going to move Grootsmacher back into the top 10.
At the same time, Blair Holloman, he's let Shane Clore by now. That 32 is just going backwards. Not quite where everybody else is running at the moment. I mean, just looking at the times here, you've got a 31.2 to a 30.4 or 30.5.
Meanwhile, we got a battle for fourth heating up. Bender has caught Vincent. Well, I think Chad Kibbe might be bringing it down pit road.
He's in.
Nope. Vincent, meanwhile, business decision to Bender. There goes the 13 into fourth.
Yeah, and he put it down as low as he could. Sent it through. Was able to stick. And Vincent didn't get the run off before he might have wanted. He's going to have to stay behind the 13.
So it's interesting that Kibbe had brought it down pit road. I can't imagine that was a scheduled stop there for the 45.
I'm not entirely sure with you. Little bit interesting. It's a normal stop, 14.9 in the pit box, 53.5 seconds all the way across pit lane. So it might have just been part of his plan. He wanted to get back onto the cycle he was already going to be on.
Yeah, he is now 2 laps down is the 45 of Chad Kibbe. Well, with all that said, you can't imagine that they're going to be too far away from the next round of pit stops here.
No, based on how quick some guys came in, around 40, 55 laps after the drop of the green. We've gone about 50 laps since we went back from the most recent restart. So I'd expected a couple maybe. If anybody'd be the first one I'd expect down, I'd say it would be that 26, but it's only really a 2-lap difference.
Yeah, pretty negligible. Whoa. Well, perhaps a little bit of slip there for Sanchez, right?
As the 79 of Gettingsman, he's on pit road. So, green flag stops has started. Are we going to get another interesting end of the pit cycle?
Oh, you know race control is praying not. Yeah, I think they've earned their paycheck for the last month with everything they had to do in those few laps.
I think they've had enough. They don't want to see another caution.
See, Bender is caught up to Sanchez. '13 car is absolutely one of the fastest cars on track these last few laps.
He has. He's been flying pretty decently. And oh, Sanchez, he was calling to let the 13 by and then got loose right in front of him.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he got loose. I think he just decided to pull over as quickly as he could to let John by, judging from the body language of that car. But you see Bender now trying to see if he can catch up to the lead duo here. So now you wonder, when are we going to see more cars here in the top 10 finally make that next pit stop?
No, I think it's going to be a small trickle like we saw that first time around. So, like, we've seen 2 cars in already, that being Ginningsman and Kibbe. So, and it was kind of a trickle effect the first time. I'd expect the same thing. Cars going, some might start thinking about it. Some might try to stretch this out a little bit more to just make that final run a little bit shorter.
Medina bringing it in. I don't think that ended up working out quite like Medina wanted it to.
No, he went onto the apron through 1 and 2.
Jose with the real throwback, going back when the corners were switched around here, trying to go to the now backstretch pit road.
Oh, look right here. Massive checkup to the 21. Sanchez was slow in front of him as he had a huge amount of momentum off the corner and had to back out or he risked dumping the car, the 29.
Yeah. Now, oh, car skimming the wall once again, as now he's maybe finally going to get that pass done on Sanchez.
Sanchez, he's just going to back out of it. If you're going to attempt to go side by side into 1 and 2, I personally don't want to be the car on the outside.
Absolutely not. I don't think there's a bigger gut check moment in NASCAR than doing that.
Right there along the backstretch, you saw Sanchez. He got a little bit squirrely through 1 and 2. He just pulled over, let the 3 cars stacked up behind him go. He's going to put Clore into the top 5, and he's coming.
See, here comes Kibbe on his fresher tires. You know, you wonder how many are trying to see if they can stretch it to make it to just this upcoming stop being the last stop. You know, we were discussing the 2-stop to 3-stop strategy. Makes you wonder how many are actually contemplating that right now.
Some just might. It's going to be a really, really tight gap because they can come in now and they might be able to make it. They'll be really, really tight on fuel, but they can still go another maybe 10, 20 laps from what they just got on their most recent pit stop and give themselves a little bit of wiggle room.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, things have stayed pretty stable to the top 3 right now. Binder hasn't really gained a whole lot of ground on race leader Alex Hammonds. Been hanging about 7.3, 7.5. It's another moment for Shane Clore. See, great car with that. Poor damaged front end on that 36 car.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, that's going to take a long time to fix, and even then it might not be properly fixed. Just a giant parachute on the nose.
Yeah, you know he must be doing the caution dance right now.
I would be.
So about 11 cars currently on the lead lap right now.
Might become 10 soon. Hammonds is right on the rear of Seymour.
Meanwhile, it looks like Nicotera has also gone a lap down. Looks like he might have finally gotten that car straightened out a little bit, but not a whole lot right now. Steve Boyle's on pit road.
Here we go, Hammonds. Or no,
Yep.
That's not Hammonds, that's Sanchez. Don't miss it this time.
First of our top 10 to make his way down pit road. It's about, I'd say, 72 laps to go.
Yeah, about 72. That's what we expect them to maybe go around 75 or so on a tank of gas. It's going to be huge on the wear of the tires, but it's very possible. You're just going to have to be really patient. Don't overdrive it.
Absolutely. So now your eyes go to the rest of these top 10 cars, see who blinks next. That didn't look like the most straightforward of pit stops, I don't think.
No,
It
he
was
slid through the
not.
box a little bit.
Oh, and he's still having to re-park. That. Yeah, that's not how you draw it up there, Wes.
No, one thing with these next gen cars, through pit lane, it is so easy to slide the car. You've got to basically, as soon as you start to turn in, you got to start on that brake and make a slow crawl. You can't like almost hold your typical pit lane speed right to your box and then just stop it perfectly on a dime. So it's easy to slide through the boxes. Darlington, I'd say it's even easier because of how non-grippy the concrete is. I don't believe that's asphalt.
Yeah, and you see it a lot in real life too. Like if you're watching them pull into their box, like that rear axle is already like stopped moving before they've even actually got into their box. They're already hard on the brakes trying to fine tune it to where it just slides on the marks perfectly. As now we have a whole lot of people bringing it down pit road. You saw the 13. The race leader, Hammonds, is also in. 21 of Carr.
18 Latham, he's in as well. So main pit stops going on now. They've got about 67 laps to go in the race, quite comfortably within the fuel window, able to save it if they need to for a green-white checkered.
Here comes Kolmacheski. So that gives the race lead over to the championship leader, Shane Clore. Oh, and here he comes. 72 on pit road.
So everybody's now been into pit road, I believe, for their possibly the final stop of the race.
Yeah, Greg Carr is still out there right now. He has really stepped up the caution dance now because he'd be well on the lead lap. He'd have the lead too, but considering how much damage he would get fixed, it's not that much of a feather in his cap.
No, and it might just be he's kind of hoping what happened the first time happens again. Caution comes out. He's the only one running left and able to get onto pit road and fix that damage.
So, looking at where everyone is sitting, looks like Hammonds is effectively race leader. Looks like he's got himself a couple seconds over his teammate here. About 3 seconds over Kolmacheski. Oh, Greg Carr in this time.
Yep, there we are at 36. He's down onto the apron. He's coming in. Hammond's now going to take the lead back. Like you said, he's got just over 3 seconds ahead of Kolmacheski.
Yeah, now the question becomes, what does the advantage of Kolmacheski coming in a couple laps after look like now? Because you saw that they were about even on pace for most of that run till the last, I'd say, 20 laps when Hammonds got himself a second and a half gap. So it seems like Kolmacheski has the speed on the short run, but if he can't use it to get by Hammonds, it might fall away here on the long run.
Which case, I'm just looking at times. I mean, he's faster than Hammonds. What he needs to do is use up the speed we know he's got at the very start to get around that 26 and then just kind of hold him up.
Absolutely, but with that advantage in your back pocket of those couple lap pressure tires, you can afford to maybe try to take it easy a bit. Try to nurse those tires in nice and easy. You know, what I've always felt, what I always was told was the first 5 laps or so are so crucial on making sure the tires cure in properly and not get too overheated early, because that's really where you burn them up easily. So if you can just take a few laps to just be easy, ease the car into this run. It pays so much of a dividend at the end of this run. So you wonder if Komacheski is going to try to put that into action with that advantage he has.
I don't really think he is. He's looking around 2 to 3/10 faster a lap than Hammonds and some of the other drivers as well. So he is pushing like a bad man. I think he wants to get right to the back of the 26 and maybe get him a little bit spooked.
Yeah, you could very well be right on that. We're looking at the 21 of Alexander Carr sitting in 4th place right now. An undercut looking nice right now for the 21. Meanwhile, I'm keeping an eye on the 72 of Shane Clore. He was one of the fastest cars there towards the end of the last run. He was making up a lot of spots. Sitting 6th right now. Got a lot of time to make up on the leaders.
Yeah, sitting back 16 seconds. That's over half the track length. Or just about, as we see 29 Sanchez back down pit road.
Yeah, now that surely isn't a scheduled stop. No
so's Kibbe
or anything, though. Yeah, curious on what's going on with those two.
I'm right with you, and then not only am I looking at Clore, I'm also right there. Holloman, he's kind of got his car going forward as well. Grutzmacher, he was getting good at the end of the run. So some of these guys, they're a bit far back from the leaders, but they might be closing in eventually as the race goes on. Whoa, moment out of the 32 off exit of 2.
Holloman might have went, holy crap on that one. Grutzmacher right there all over the 32. One of the earliest to pit on this cycle. Whoa! That was a even bigger moment than the one we saw a couple laps ago. What a save from the 32.
Well, I mean, that's normal here. We've seen these cars, and it's just, they'll get a and you said it earlier in the broadcast as well, they've gotten loose randomly at points on drivers, and that's why it's called the Master Series. They're able to just get it pointed back straight and carry on.
I should have saved my joke. That would have been a much better time to use that, darn it. That made things a lot easier for Grutzmacher and Vincent to get by.
It has, and now Holloman, he just back it down a little bit, make sure your tires are just fine, then go back and get them.
As Chad Kibbe is called in the 9, unfortunately. We're now 50 laps to go here from the track Too Tough to Tame.
It's spread out. I mean, we've got large gaps. The closest battle per se is looking at Ginningsman up in 5th, and that goes all the way back to Holman in 9th. Everybody there is within a second of each other. But for the most part, we've got large gaps between the rest of the cars. Hammonds, though, I mean, he's keeping it pretty. He's being kept to pretty honest speed. Kolmacheski, he's been closing in, but it's not the rate that it was earlier. They're both back down into the high 29s. I say that, and then Kolmacheski just had a 29.5 compared to Hammonds at a 29.8. So, a little bit of saving, a little bit of pushing. Who knows what's going to happen with that?
Yeah, we have no idea what cards these two are playing. They're keeping it very tight to the chest. So, as the broadcasters, we're having to speculate here to see a few of the lead lap cars going by the 17. See Clore trying to get back into the top 5 here. There he goes, and clear up. And Grootsmacher joined him past the 79. Chad was the first of this lead group to make his way down pit road, so you're starting to see the tire advantage really flip.
It's about 20 lap difference there, and he's going to block a little bit with Vincent behind him. Vincent going to power around the outside through 3 and 4. He's got the spot clear.
I don't know if that was a block. I think he just tried to let him have the outside, just a little bit of a miscommunication there.
I mean, it very well could have been either or. We've been seeing a lot of these drivers. They'll just know that, hey, you're faster, I'm slower, go on by. Might have been miscommunication, you're right. But Clore to the top 5, up 14 positions. The leader, though, Alex Hammond, since the drop of the green flag, 21 from 20 near last up to first.
Yeah, that is mind-blowing. You typically don't see that crazy of positions gained here at Darlington. It's so hard to make these positions up and keep your stuff underneath you. You know, that was one of the main reasons why I picked Healy to win this race, because he already had the track position. But here we are. I'm absolutely being proved dead wrong with race leader from 22nd, obviously Clore from 19th. Heck, even John Bender in 3rd started 10th. You know, some great results from these guys so far off maybe not the best qualifying laps.
There's always that difference. Not every person that qualifies well, they don't always run well in the race, and some of those that qualify poorly, they've got the best race cars.
Absolutely. And what you said about hot lap heroes earlier in the race. Well, it sounds like the 79 has brought it back to pit road.
Yeah, he pitted around lap 181, so he went 131. He went 50 laps, so expect this to be his final pit stop of the night. It might be good, though. He's got 30 lap difference on tires, so he might be able to drive back up through the field, but he's going to be a long way down.
Yeah, we're getting someone on that alternative strategy that we're talking about. I can't wait to see what he does with that. You can't imagine that he'll be able to drive up to the front, but you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we see him get back on the lead lap and maybe get back to the top 10 here with those fresh tires. Well, you see that 69 car start to get closer and closer. Sit down to almost under a second here.
It's not been massive gains either. He's had every lap. It's been small and steady. But like you said, he's got it to around a second. And at first I thought there was no save that he was doing, but he's backed it down way much. I'm not sure if that's just him knowing, hey, I've got to save something, or if it's just the track doing it to him. But he's still finding just a little bit of time every single lap on the 26.
Yeah, this place always seems to evolve so much over the course of the race. You know, you almost have to go at it as a bit of a dirt driver, you know, philosophy of trying to be able to play around with whatever line you can, trying to see what might work, and the fact that what worked one lap might be completely non-existent in the very next lap. So that's why you tend to see a little more variance in what these guys are doing on a lap by lap basis. And man, half a second last couple laps alone for Kolmacheski. He is coming.
He is. He's now right to the back of the 26, and at the same time, we see the 9 of Jorgensen. He's into pit road. He was also one of those ones that stopped around lap 130 or so, so gonna be extremely tight for him to make it, if even. So his final stop is done. I think there's one more that we might need to watch, the 48 of Jose Medina, and then maybe also the 23 of Boyles.
Yeah, right now Medina one lap at first car, one lap down. Boyles also one lap down right now.
And he took some big chunks out of it, but now Kolmacheski's kind of backing off a little bit. He got it to 3/10 now at half a second.
Oh, is he the 40 going low to let our leaders by? But man,
Smart
look at the
move.
run. Yeah, now look at the run that Kolmacheski has. Trying to turn the hill. Oh, bit of a moment from Hammonds there.
Hammond's got it sideways off exit, but kept it straight, and he might have gained some time from that. I think Kolmacheski saw him backed off a little, not sure if he was going to loop it.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. See, they both go low. Saw Hammonds there. He slid up about middle of the track. I think that might have helped him a little bit, gave him a little extra momentum off of the corner, running slightly higher than what Kolmacheski was. You see Thomas really having to play around, get that clean air. Saw he exited a lot higher than Hammonds that last time off of 2.
Yeah, here through 3 and 4, you just see Kolmacheski. He's almost glued to the white dashes. Whereas Hammonds, he's kind of diamond in the corner. He'll enter low, run it up high a little bit, middle of the corner, then exit back a little bit straighter. Allows him to get that run and give him a bit more space going into 1 and 2.
Yeah, and he's starting to stretch it back out over Kolmacheski. We're under 30 to go now. Meanwhile, looks like Clore is starting to get closer and closer to Alex Carr. About a couple seconds between these two. We are down to just 8 cars left on the lead lap.
Yeah, and it's not. And Holloman, he's getting ran up on by our 2 leaders here. It's only probably about a quarter of a track ahead, if even, right in front of Hammonds and Kolmacheski, and these 2 are flying around.
Oh, bit of a hit to the wall from our race leader.
And right up there, close on exit again. I mean, you've got to play those fine margins. That's where all the time is.
Yeah, that's what makes Darlington so exhilarating, is you're basically putting it on the ragged edge, an edge that's a lot sharper here than any other track. You can't take a corner off. You can't rest up, especially when you have your competition right there barreling down on you. You just have to keep full set at this point and just hope for the best.
Hope for the best, I'd say. Definitely what they need to do, because at this point, these tires, they might be screaming. They might be on their last legs. But you don't back down. You can't. Kolmacheski, if he sees a slip up from the 26, he'll be right there, right on the rear bumper. And then another slip up, and he's around you.
Absolutely. Especially since you see the difference in lines. Obviously, Kolmacheski, we mentioned it, running a lot lower than what Hammonds has been doing. And that helps Kolmacheski so much because he's not risking as much as Hammonds is right now, having to run up higher, you know. So if and when Hammonds makes that mistake from the lines he's running, that allows Kolmacheski to pounce, like you said. Sarah
and
both
Art
going by the 17.
Right there. Whew. Best thing that Art could have done right there, and what you did was he just kept at his line. Don't try to move out of the way as soon as the leaders get to you. Just be predictable.
Yeah, probably in the voice chat to his 2 teammates going to the inside, go to the inside. Let's see, here's Jose Medina on his fresh tires. You wonder what role this is going to play in this battle right now. Oh, it's going to play a big role. Here he comes to the outside of Kolmacheski.
That's slowing that 72 down. Look at that. He started 3 and 4. He was about 2/10 back. Now he's dropped it down to 4. He's going to have to hope the 48 gives the 26 just as much trouble as he got.
Yeah, and I think he might here. You know, you gotta let him by if you're the 26, but where do you do it? There they go.
That's gonna be really.
Yeah.
They're still side by side going into 1 and 2. 26 had to back out. 69 right to his rear now. He's got momentum. And Boyles is going to be slow on exit.
Yeah, I think Boyles might have had a moment in front of them, and that's what kind of slowed them up because they were having to focus forward on what was going on with that 23. But still, Hammonds holds on to the race lead.
We're at 20 to go now. And I don't think anybody else is stopping. Everybody that had to make a pit stop, they've done it. So now it's a race to the end, see what you got. And right now, it's these 2 up front. They got it.
Yeah, your bet is made. You're laying in it now. You've got about 19 laps of what could very well be a very unpleasant sleep here. That allowed Bender to gain a little bit of ground. That got him about a second to these 2 for his troubles. Still, once again, Hammonds just keeps Kolmacheski at bay at that About 2-3 tenths bubble.
Really what it is, I think Cole Macheski, he's got a better car through the turns, but Hammond's him running that higher line, he's getting great momentum on exit and just is able to carry it down the straights.
Yeah, I agree on that. Oh, another brush with destiny there. Oh, and Hammond's exited pretty high there off of 2. That's going to help Cole Macheski a bit.
Cole Macheski, he's looking for every little bit of grip he can, every little bit of speed. You see him going into 3 and 4. He's below the white hashes halfway through that turn.
Yeah, he's got the intimidate button on right now. There's no shared drafting here. Once again, Hammond's exiting high on turn 2. That costs you a lot of time. Being able to straight shot the exit, that helps you get a little more momentum off of the corner. You know, you'd think that exiting higher would help your momentum. And other corners, more conventional tracks, it does. Not here. And it's also really terrifying to do that. This great car gets out of the way of the battle for the lead. Yeah, the moment you get a little bit offline to exit a turn 2, you are holding your breath because the likelihood of absolutely pounding that wall is way higher. Which is saying a lot because it's already pretty high.
It is, and just right here, this gyro cam, that's showing you. You can see it just a little bit on the right there, how close he is to the wall through 1 and 2. Through 3 and 4 here, he's a little bit lower, but he's still higher than what Cole Macheski is running.
And you saw off at 2 right there, Cole Macheski, he was having to dirt track it a little bit, and that actually gained him time. So now you're really starting to see the 69 push here.
Got a little bit of a wiggle out of the 26 and gained him some time as well.
Yeah. Loose is fast and the edge out of control. This is just excellent. This is basically punch counter punch here between these two.
I don't think it's punch counter punch. I think it's a jab with them slipping it every single chance they get. They're not landing blows. The other opponent's just dodging it. Great run through 3 and 4 that time by Cole Macheski.
Yeah, it's interesting how, both of them having their own issues. Hammond's got the wall, Kumacheski sideways again. As we're coming to 10 laps to go. Whoa.
26 in the wall again. It was just a small bounce, no harm, no foul. It gained him some time.
Oh, I tell you, that's what makes this track so amazing.
And James, I just got to ask, are these your drivers or you just happen to share a name?
Nope, these are my drivers. So I am watching and commentating this with a little bit of bated breath here.
I was about to say, you feel like Dale Jr. when he's on Prime if there's an Xfinity race going on, don't you?
Absolutely. It's like, yes, guys, keep this going, but please keep the cars clean.
Well, they're keeping it going, keeping the cars clean, giving us an amazing show. And I think Cole Macheski, he might have used up every last bit he had. He's falling back big time, 0.6 of a second behind.
Yeah, he had to do it. You had to make that move when you could. And you know that you run up to that issue pushing hard here at Darlington, especially with all that dirty air just making the tire wear worse. You see, meanwhile, it's like Andrew Carr has dropped a couple positions down to P7. Clora's gotten up to P4, but about 13 seconds behind John Binder, who's holding on to that third spot.
Yeah, and I think everybody's kind of just relax. Hey, bring it home. I don't want any more.
Yeah, whatever the anti-caution dance is, that's what they're doing in the 26 camp right now.
Everybody's doing that right now. I don't think anyone wants to see one.
I feel like some people might want to see a green-white checker just to see if they can take another extra few spots or two. Oh, see, Holloman make a little bit of wall contact off of 2. Off of 4, it's going to be 5 laps to go here from the lady in black. See now Vincent and Carr battling with each other a little bit here.
That's not for position. I think they're just on top of each other. Greg, he's a lap down. Blair is too, but Greg's a lap down beyond Blair. Then right here you got Alex and Chris Vincent. Alex basically pushing the 33 down the front stretch. Or the back stretch, rather.
Carr's gonna have the run to the outside. Oh, bit of a wiggle from Carr. There goes his hopes of getting that position on this lap. He had it, but just that little bit of a wiggle allows Vincent to hold on for at least another set of corners. 3 to go.
Out front, I think Cole Macheski definitely burned up his stuff. Hammonds is just 2-second gap now. And Cole Macheski's about half a second slower lap.
Yeah, you can see the lap times there on the timing tower are pretty big difference. So I think the 69 is just trying to hold on and bring home the P2. Oh, almost contact! Vincent into Carr. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was nearly the caution his teammate did not want to see. As we are
white flag is out.
1 to go for the 26.
Not only was that contact and almost a wreck, that's just a little bit in front of the leader. Hammond saw that and he held his breath. Not gonna matter though. He's going through 3 and 4 right now. Straighten it up off the exit. Wave hello to the crowd. Hammonds is the winner at Darlington. We talked about Darlington not giving that much of a show. It gave us a show because we saw a good amount of cars bouncing off walls, scraping the walls. A lot of loose moments and a good amount of battles as well.
Yeah, usually the show is just the drivers trying not to end their show into the outside wall, but man, we saw some incredible side-by-side battling. Like, there was some fantastic racecraft being displayed by everyone making these passes. Let's just see the TWRS boys doing the burnouts for the 1-2.
And here they are, nose to nose. Let them rip.
There comes Chris joining.
Vincent, join, why not?
They're getting the post-race celebrations organized here. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with our top three.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back. We hope y'all enjoyed the little bit of a break. We got given a magnificent show by our drivers here at the Lady in Black. Time to go through these unofficial results. Teammates Alexander Hammonds and Thomas Cole Macheski bringing home 1-2 for Team Watson. John Bender comes through in third. Shane Clore, amazing drive up through the field, ending up fourth. Dylan Grutzmacher, great comeback, I have to say. We saw him, he ran out of gas, had to get that toe into the pit lane. Able to come home fifth, though. Amazing drive by him. Alex Carr in sixth, Chris Vincent in 12th. Holloman, he got eighth. We knew he was just racing smart, letting people by whenever he knew they were faster. Michael Seymour, he came home ninth. Timothy Latham in 10th in that 18 Skittles car. Ginningsman brought it home 11th. He was kind of on that alternate strategy of sorts where he came every 50 laps or so. Great finish for him. He had a great run back through the field. A great car. Had that huge parachute on the nose of the 36. Came home 12th. Amazing run from him with what damage I saw on that car.
Absolutely.
Art Nicotera, final driver from Team Watson. He's going to bring it home 13th. Dakota Jorgensen going to be 14th. Justin Boyles 15th. Jose Medina going to be 16th. Sanchez, he's going to come home 17th. Colton Gardner, JP Jones, teammates over at SMR, they're going to be 18th, 19th. Chad Kibbe, he's going to be 20th. Scott Healy, we saw him wreck out. He's going to be 21st. Kyle Gerlach, not exactly sure what happened to him. Going to be 22nd, and Kyle Westwood finishing 23rd. Well, it's been an interesting race, and I doubt it, and I don't think anybody would say anything against that. Let's get these boys up into the booth for some interviews. John, it's Wesley and James up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Well, man, you brought it home third. It was kind of a quiet night from you. Just made smart moves whenever you saw somebody make a mistake or a small error. You took advantage of it. Run me through your day, and if there was any plan for green flag stops, what strategy. We saw people coming every about 50, 55 laps, then people running it long until their tank was basically empty, going about 75.
Yeah, about 55 is the average for what most guys were shooting for tonight, and just stayed clean, kept my nose away from everybody else, and let other people make mistakes and capitalize on that. Probably could have pushed a little harder on my tires, but I kept the car in one piece.
I mean, Darlington, it's one of the trickiest tracks that me and James were talking about. Both pit road entry and just managing the corners and how you run them. Saw a couple guys try going too wide through 1 and 2, getting squeezed up into the wall. Then eventually people was like, yeah, I'm just going to back out of this one. Lady in Black, always a fun one to watch.
It's definitely a tough track and very rewarding when you get those podium finishes.
James, you got anything for him?
Just take us through what's going through your mind when you're getting to the closing stages of a race here at Darlington. You know, this track isn't the easiest to deal with, so you know it's got to be the exhaustion factor has to be pretty high when it get down to under 50 to go.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely a mentally and physically tough track for people who have high feedback wheels. And at the end of the race, just running my laps and trying to stay within my comfort zone and not crash the car and bring it home.
Well, man, you didn't crash the car. You brought it home in third. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go? Shout outs to sponsors, friends, family.
Give the guys at Team Purview a shout out for working on the cars every week. Dave and Chris for putting on the league. And thank you for you guys for broadcasting tonight.
Well, man, thank you for that. Great job finishing third. Hopefully see you back up here next week.
I would love to.
That was John Binder, your third place finisher. Thomas, it's Wesley and James up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Well, team 1-2 between you and Hammonds, you had a fast car and you were giving it to him, or at least trying to get around him in that closing stages, but burned your stuff up, it seemed. Were y'all kind of laughing and joking throughout in the call there as it was coming to the end?
Oh yeah, I just kept breathing into the mic, telling him I could smell him. I don't know if he heard me say it, but I did. But it was no saving for me, I can tell you that.
I mean, no saving. It gave us a show, and unfortunately, tires just gave out within the last 10 laps. Whole while up here, James is sitting here saying, please keep the cars clean, get the finish, I don't care. I know he was having near heart attacks every single time there was a lapped car in front of you or you two almost got close. But that whole race, it was a little bit interesting. That first green flag cycle had a caution right at the end of it, caused a whole bunch of jumble up. What was your plan going into the race, pit strategy wise?
During that first one, I was driving a tugboat. I couldn't turn at all, and I just had to loosen the hell out of it, and thank God I did, and we got those runs that were pretty long there, so it came back to me, and I was pretty quick from there on out.
I mean, definitely were pretty quick. James, you got something for him?
Yeah, I saw you were really able to make that lower line work there. Is that something you tend to do here at Darlington? Do you tend to, obviously everyone knows the top, but do you tend to run the top here, or run the bottom here a little more?
So I saw someone doing that in another league last night, and I was like, it worked for him, let me try it. And it actually was working pretty well.
I mean, it gave you clean air on your nose, and I know there's a little bit grip down there if you can hit it correctly. So it gave you a little bit of area to attack. He was better through 3 and 4, but you had the lot. It seemed you were better through 1 and 2 than Hammonds in front of you.
Yeah, I noticed he would get up in the wall a few times, and yeah, he just kept telling me he didn't see that. And I was like, I was trying not to follow him into it as best as I could. But the car really fast this week.
Well, anybody you want to thank, shout outs before we let you go, Thomas?
Yeah, everybody at Team Watson, Kenny for putting out another great setup. It's been great. Each one of my teammates had a good race today.
Well, man, great job. Second place finish for you tonight. We hope to see you up here again next week with maybe another chat, maybe this time one spot higher.
That would be nice. Thank you.
That was Thomas Kolmachewski's second place finisher for tonight. But it's all about this man coming up, Alexander Hammonds. He got the win. Alex, it's Wesley and James up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you loud and clear.
Well, man, what a run. You put on an absolute show. I think the highest mover throughout the field as well. Started near last, come home with the win.
Yeah. And if you told me, if you showed me the full schedule at the start of the season and asked me what tracks I thought I had the best chance of winning at, I think Darlington would be darn near the end of that list. But hey, it's Team Watson put together a really good setup. We had great long run pace, and starting at the back kind of ended up working in my favor. It allowed me to make my way through the field, learn to be patient, gave me good gaps of clean air between groups of cars to pass. So all in all, I'm like very happy with how that race went. I mean, obviously, right? But yeah.
I mean, two big moments of the race. You had the incident at the end of the pit cycle where the whole field kind of got jumbled up. That incident, and then also on the restart, there was a little bit of movement out of everybody. Cars trying to just hammer the throttle and getting up into the wall, getting into other cars, maybe getting a little damage to help you move up through the field.
Yeah, well, I was running second on that restart. I don't really know what happened. I'd have to go back and watch it. But I guess my understanding is maybe Art spun his wheels a little bit and kind of stacked up the inside line. But I was lucky enough to be past it whenever it turned for the worse.
Turned for the worse or not, I mean, good run overall. Same question I kind of asked everybody. We were talking about pit strategies. We saw two different ones at the first green flag pit stops. That whole cycle lasted around 20-30 laps. People coming all the way in from like lap 45 to 75. What exactly was your plan going into it, and how did it change?
Well, this was the only really long race I've done, or this was the only race I've done of the week so far. So I didn't have a good idea of how fast the tires were going to fall off as we got deep in the run. So I did some quick math beforehand and figured that I was going to try to go to lap 73 to make the 2-stop work, but if not, I was going to bail at 55 for the 3-stop. And man, the tires just held on great. I was able to stay out there past lap 73, and that set me up for a great spot when that caution came out. It was smooth sailing from there on out, besides Thomas giving me a pretty good run for my money there at the end.
I mean, he definitely did. James, you got anything for your driver before we let him go?
Yeah, I mean, you were doing a fantastic job ripping the top there. How nerve-wracking is it to be up there ripping the lip, especially battling for the win and knowing that one little mistake and might all go up in smoke?
Oh, it's terrifying. If I wasn't gripping the wheel so tight, I think my hands would be shaking. Especially when it's someone who I respect as much as Thomas running me down. It's pretty nerve-wracking. I was just happy I was able to keep it clean for the most part and keep him behind me. Because in some situations like that early in the season, I've folded and made dumb mistakes, but was able to keep all 4 wheels under me this time.
Well, kept all 4 under you this time, brought her home in first. Anybody you want to thank, shout outs before we let you go as well?
Yeah, massive shout out to everyone over there at Team Watson. Put together great setups. Really paid off this week for me and Thomas, and yeah, huge shout to all y'all. Hope we made you proud, James. And shout out to a couple of friends and family members I know I have watching. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Well, we thank you for coming up, for letting us interview, giving us an amazing show, and maybe see you next week again.
Yeah, I think we might be off next week. Not entirely sure, but whenever the next race is, I'll be there.
Good rest of your night, Alex.
Thank you, y'all too.
Well, that was race winner Alexander Hammonds. Great show, great win. 1-2 for Team Watson Racing. And great show all around. We talked about how difficult the track would have been. It showed that. It also showed that it gave us a good amount of racing with cars up in the wall side by side making some moves.
Yeah, a whole lot of what we saw was both quintessential Darlington and, you know, stuff that we're not really expected to see. There was a lot of fantastic battling, like you said, some incredible racing, and obviously strategy and playing a huge factor in, and, you know, just seeing everyone be able to wheel the absolute heck out of these things on edge like that. It just never fails to put a smile on your face. That's why, you know, love this place. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely love it as well. It's fun to race, especially when you get it right. It can be fun to watch like we saw tonight. And I'm just ready to see what tomorrow's going to be like with the trucks here.
Absolutely. That one is going to be a brawl in and of itself as well.
It truly is going to be a brawl. So, honestly, overall tonight gave us pretty good. And I'd love to say I will see you next week, but got to look back at the schedule now. We're not here next week. We've got an off week until we get to Bristol April 12th.
Oh, boy.
From Lady in Black to the Last Great Coliseum, it's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, this is my type of stretch right here in the schedule.
Well, we appreciate all of y'all joining along with us today. I've been Wesley. I've been up here with James as well for the race. Joe couldn't make it. He's still sick from the weekend prior. But we hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all have a good night. It's been a pleasure. See you later.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.